Greetings, NASCAR enjoyers, and welcome back to Hot Atlanta. This year's O'Reilly Series Atlanta Summer Race begins with Sam Mayer and Carson Kvapil battling for the lead. Kvapil and Mayer both trade the lead. Mayer takes the lead and blocks Kvapil. The caution just came out as the only Ford in the grid has issues. Dang it! Austin Hill also has issues with the throttle pedal. The race restarts with Mayer slowly but surely jumping to lead. He even blocks both lanes. Carson Kvapil is right on his tail. The caution just came out. Leland Honeyman gets loose and scrapes the wall. Man, he can't go a single day without being involved in the caution. And Brent Cruz gets penalized for a commitment line violation. Dang it! Anyways, the race restarts with Sammy Smith and Sam Mayer battling for the lead. Mayer takes the lead. Kvapil gets to his bumper. Kvapil takes the lead after Mayer falls back in the draft, and then he gets loose when Jesse Love almost took him out. He blew a tire and had to come down to pit road. Holy crapper! Jeremy Clements got to the top 5. Ah crap, Jesse Love got past Carson Kvapil. Should have blocked him while he had the chance. Kvapil gets the lead back, and just like that, Carson Kvapil wins the first stage of the 2026 O'Reilly Series Summer Race at Atlanta. Brandon Jones loses control and has contact with Austin Hill. Dang, it happened before the stage even ended. But anyways, our first race off pit road begins and Ryan Sieg wins the race off pit road. The second stage begins with Brent Cruz and Harrison Burton battling for the lead. Harrison Burton jumps the lead. Caruth takes second. Sammy Smith takes the lead after Harrison Burton got loose. Creed gets loose and gets into the wall. Patrick Sarpoli gets loose and gets into the grass, but no caution was thrown. Justin Allgaier takes second. Jesse Love falls back to ninth. Sammy Smith continues to lead. Allgaier and Smith battle for the lead, and just like that, Justin Allgaier takes the lead and wins stage number 2. That's where he belongs, in the lead. But anyways, our next race off pit road begins, and Justin Allgaier wins the race off pit road. Yes! Go get that win, man. The third and final stage begins with Justin Allgaier jumping to the lead. Caruth takes the lead, and the caution just came out right when Harrison Burton blew an engine. Dang. He was doing so well. The third and final stage begins with Roger Caruth jumping to the lead. Creed is trying his best to take the lead from Caruth. Brandon Jones gets loose. The caution just came out when Taylor Gray and Corey Day wrecked each other, and the race gets red flagged. Really, NASCAR? That wasn't even severe enough to cause a red flag. NASCAR officiating, am I right? The race gets back to yellow, and it eventually restarts with Creed and Caruth battling for the lead. Mayer blows an engine and didn't come down to pit road. The caution came out when Jeremy Clements gets loose and loses control. He saved his car, but they still decided to call the caution. And the race gets red flagged for that. The race gets back to yellow again. The race restarts with Sheldon Creed jumping to the lead. Caruth takes second and he battles Creed for the lead. Sammy Smith is in third, and then all of a sudden, Kvapil takes second. The caution just came out when Glenn Reen loses control and gets into the grass. This time, no red flag. The race restarts with Allgaier jumping to the lead. Caruth and Allgaier battle for the lead. The caution just came out when Jake Finch got loose and hits the wall. He also damaged a tire when he got into the wall. The race restarts with Austin Hill jumping to the lead. Hill does a Trip Murphy and blocks Carson Kvapil. His Trip Murphy maneuvers won't work this time as Carson Kvapil goes to the side. And the caution just came out when Jake Finch blows a tire, had sparks, and lost control. Yeesh, just take the number 9 car out of the race already. The race restarts with Hill and Allgaier battling for the lead, and Allgaier takes it. This time, Justin Allgaier blocks Austin Hill. And a huge wreck causes yet another caution. Creed and Brent Cruz got involved in it, and not even Jesse Love is safe. Yeah. Nick Lights also got caught up in the wreck itself. And guess what? Poor Leland Honeyman also got involved. Yeah, again, he can't even go a single day without having to get involved in a caution. And we get our third red flag of the night, but this time, it makes sense. As it was a very huge wreck, unlike the smaller wrecks that weren't even worthy of causing a red flag. Holy crapper, 11 cars got involved in that wreck. Can you believe that? The race gets back to yellow again, and it restarts with Allgaier and Quapple vying for lead. Sammy Smith takes second, but Quapple holds him off. This is exciting! Brett Cruz comes down to pit road. Sammy Smith takes the lead, but Austin Hill joins the chat and tries to take the lead when he gets loose. And causes a chain reaction wreck. Man, 12 cautions in a row. Unbelievable. The race gets into the green-white checker phase. Oh no, not another red flag. That's like the fourth one in a row. Here we go. The red flag is lifted and the race restarts with Carson Quapple jumping to lead. The caution just came out when Jeremy Clements loses control and gets into LeVar Scott. Yeah, another driver that can't even go a single day without having to get involved in a caution. The race gets into the second green-white checkered phase and it restarts again with Carson Quapple continuing to battle for the lead. And then Austin Green takes second and then Poole is leading. Holy crapper, Brennan Poole is leading. I've never seen that. Green and Poole have contacted just when he thought Parker Reslaught might have his first breakout victory. Justin Allgaier holds him off and adds another trophy to his collection. The race had gone on for far too long and had a couple of unnecessary red flags that were only there because of oil cleanup. Yeah, in Le Mans, that would have been a slow zone, not a race stoppage. But it was still worth it to see Justin Allgaier end up in victory lane once more, where he belongs. So it gets a 9 out of 10. The race got really exciting at the end, and even Ryan Sieg running out of fuel didn't ruin this race. So yeah, it might have been too long, especially with a couple of unnecessary red flags, but it still had an excellent finish. But anyways, it is time to sign off. Catch you guys next time, and peace out. Greetings, NASCAR enjoyers, and welcome back to Hot Atlanta, where the Quaker State 400 is being held, and for some reason it's now a night race. Yeah, I guess there was enough demand for NASCAR to change the time itself. I thought that only applied to the O'Reilly Series race, but apparently they changed the time for the Cup Series races as well. But anyways, this year's Quaker State 400 begins with Blaney and Logano bound for lead. Blaney jumps to lead and Dillon takes second. Larson takes third. Brad K gets into the wall and had to back off. Ah, crap. Logano's back in second. You know it's never a good thing because he might take the lead. Do not let Joey Logano win this one. Alex Bowman has appeared in fourth, but he falls back to eighth and had to back off. So far, not much is going on, unlike the O'Reilly Series race that went on last night. Cindric takes third. Man, this is not going to be an exciting race. So far, Penske continues to dominate. Austin Hill is somehow in seventh. Hocevar is in fourth and trying to get past Cindric. Reddick is in eighth and he's now in seventh. Holy crapper, Tyler Reddick just got past Carson Hocevar. Cindric is trying his best to hold him off. He tries using Brad Keselowski as a tow, but he still couldn't get past Austin Cindric. Larson is right on Reddick's tail and tried using him as a drafting partner. But you have to keep in mind that he's not on the same team and he'll do anything to get past him. Larson gets past Reddick and Hocevar is now in the mix. He also gets past Logano. Hold him off, Blaney. He tried getting past him, but Blaney holds him off. Reddick and Larson battle for second, and just like that, he manages to clear Kyle Larson. Despite this, Ryan Blaney continues to lead. Blaney gets held up by lap traffic, and that causes Tyler Reddick to get on his bumper. Here we go. The battle is on. It gets intense, with 5 to go in the first stage. Now this is getting exciting. Reddick gets into the draft, but Blaney blocks. On the main straight, Reddick manages to get past it, but Blaney gets the lead back and has contact. More lap traffic becomes a factor. Reddick attempts, but Blaney holds him off and wins the first stage of the 2026 Quaker State 400 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Yeah, I'm not calling it EchoPark Speedway. Anyways, our first race off pit road begins, and Tyler Reddick wins the race off pit road. The second stage begins with Reddick and Larson battling for lead. Reddick takes the lead after he got in front of Christopher Bell. Blaney easily takes the lead from Reddick after he scooted by. Larson is on his tail. Blaney and Larson battle for the lead. Wallace is in fourth. Larson takes the lead, but Blaney tries taking it back. Hocevar is in third and got into the wall. Blaney gets the lead back. Yeah, I sound like a broken record. And then all of a sudden, Hocevar is in the lead. Tyler Reddick and Carson Hocevar battle for the lead. Hocevar holds him off, and Bubba Wallace takes second. Herbst gets into the wall. Blaney is back in the lead. Larson gets into the wall. William Byron gets upset on the radio about his car. Yeah, his car is not handling very well, and he also has the worst looking car in the race itself, so yeah, not a good day for William Byron. And it actually looks like a test car instead of a car that would actually race, in my opinion. Bubba Wallace is in second. Weather might become a factor as, black clouds appear in the air. The caution just came out for safety reasons. The reason why it came out is, well, as you might have guessed, for potential rain. Everyone comes down to pit road, and it starts to rain. And the crazy thing is, I was told of this. Yeah, I was told of this on Discord. That means we might get another rain delay race. Just great. And NASCAR fans wanted a nighttime Atlanta race. Frick. Not off to a good start, am I right? Lightning also appears in the area, but not Lightning McQueen, I mean actual lightning. After a lengthy rain delay, which lasted for 3 hours, pit road is now open and several drivers come down to pit road. A few drivers stay out. Ryan Blaney wins the race off pit road and as he only took fuel. The other drivers that looked like that they were going to stay out decide to pit in. The race eventually restarts with Blaney and Wallace battling for the lead. The battle of the pushers ensues. The two Penske drivers clear both Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick. Carson Hocevar takes third. Bubba Wallace takes second and is now on the bumper of Ryan Blaney. And then all of a sudden, Bubba Wallace takes the lead. Never mind, Blaney is back in the lead. Wallace falls back to fourth. Hamlin's in eighth. Bubba Wallace and Carson Hocevar continue to go at it for third. Hocevar pulls away from Bubba Wallace for third. He is now trying to break off the Penske train. Suarez and Wallace battle for fourth, and he somehow manages to pull away. Holy crapper, SVG is a knife, I don't believe this. He's finally figured out all of those. Yeah. Bubba Wallace gets to the quarter panel of Joey Logano and takes second, but then all of a sudden, Carson Hocevar takes second. Carson Hocevar attempted to take the lead, but Bubba Wallace breaks the draft. Bubba Wallace almost took the lead. Logano is back in second, and the race goes free wide for a bit. Reddick falls all the way back to 10th. Suarez attempts to take second. Hocevar is off the pace all the way back to 27th. Oh, anyway. He also has an issue with his car. We find out that he blew another tire. Bubba Wallace spins out and Ryan Blaney wins the second stage of this year's Quaker State 400. He also gets tagged by Ty Gibbs. Dang it, Ty, you had to take out frickin' Bubba Wallace. This is the second time this has happened. The first being when he took out Brandon Jones. Our next race off pit road begins. And Ty Gibbs wins the race off pit road. The third and final stage begins with Gibbs somehow taking the lead. Christopher Bell is also on his tail. Kyle Larson's gotten to third and tries taking second from Christopher Bell. The caution just came out when AJ Allmendinger spins out and loses control. He also blew a tire, but anyways. Several drivers come down to pit road during the caution period. The race restarts with Bell and Larson battling for the lead. Larson gets pushed to the lead by Blaney, who also takes it. Eric Jones is also in fourth. Bell takes the lead. Blaney takes it back. Logano falls all the way back to 17th, and SVG had a close call. Phew. Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney battle for the lead. Larson also takes second, and the race goes free wide. Blaney really wants that lead, man. Bubba Wallace is back in second. Chase Elliott is back in second, and Ryan Blaney is trying his best to hold him off. Denny Hamlin is also in fourth. Elliott is back in the lead. Chastain is in ninth. Reddick takes the lead, and Bubba Wallace is helping him out by being his pusher. That was until he fell back to fourth. Blaney is back in the lead. Larson then dashes ahead and tries taking second from his teammate Chase Elliott. Chastain is in eighth. Bubba Wallace takes the lead again. Hocevar has somehow gotten to fifth. Wait, what? I thought he was a couple of laps down. Blaney gets into the wall. The caution just came out. AJ Allmendinger also blew 2 more tires when he got into the wall again. But anyways, several drivers come down to pit road. The race restarts with Bubba Wallace jumping to the lead. Blaney takes the lead and Hocevar is in second. Kyle Larson gets into the grass. The caution just came out. The race restarts with Hocevar and Blaney battling for the lead. The two stay side by side. Hocevar takes the lead. Hocevar blocks Bubba Wallace, but wasn't able to do anything about Ryan Blaney as he side-drafted him. Blaney takes the lead after Hocevar was throwing more Jean Girard-style blocks. Yeah, you ever see Talladega Nights? He's doing the same thing as Jean Girard. Christopher Bell takes second, but he wasn't able to hold off Bubba Wallace. Eric Jones gets into the wall. It then goes 3 wide as Hocevar attempts taking the lead, and Kyle Larson wrecks out and causes a multi-car incident, which brings out another caution, man. Man, such a shame that Chase Briscoe had to get involved, as he was the winner of Chicagoland. He also got into the nose of Denny Hamlin. But anyways, the race gets into the green-white checker phase, and it restarts with Hocevar being pushed to the lead until Blaney takes it. Holy crapper, SVG is in top 5. The battle is on, and it gets intense on the final lap. And Blaney takes the win! Yes, Ryan Blaney takes the win, man. Bubba Wallace almost took the lead, but it was Ryan Blaney who won in epic fashion. For the insane finish alone, it gets a 9 out of 10. He can celebrate his win with his Mario mustache once more. But anyways, it is time to sign off. Thank you for watching. Catch you guys next time. Peace out.